Legend has it, in the northern highlands, the Lion King had a beautiful daughter named Oge. She often traveled around the country, healing people and teaching them to cultivate. Far to the east sea, another kingdom ruled over the land under the reign of a young king, Lạc Long Quân, who was believed to be the descendant of dragons. At that time, people were greatly troubled by evil. So Lạc Long Quân traveled everywhere to help them. One time, he saw a monster trying to frighten a crane. He grabbed rock and killed the monster. When Lạc Long Quân got close, the crane turned into a beautiful fairy. Lạc Long Quân and Oge fell in love with each other. Not long after that, a lavish wedding was organized and the two kingdoms celebrated their unity. Time went by. Oge became pregnant and gave birth to a bundle of 100 eggs, which hatched into 100 beautiful children. The children all grew up strong, smart, like their dragon father, and as kind-hearted as their fairy mother. Decades passed. Lạc Long Quân always found his heart longing for the coast, while Oge constantly yearned for the mountains. So they decided to divide their children. Lạc Long Quân took 50 children to live along the coast, and Oge led 50 to dwell in the mountains with her. However, they made a promise that despite the distance, they would always listen to each other and lend a hand should one be in need. They would never let their bond be broken. So Oge went to the highlands and divided the areas for her children to govern. She taught them to be strong and charismatic leaders. The eldest son stayed in Phong Châu and became the king of Văn Lang. He took the title of Hùng King, which would remain for 18 generations. Vietnamese people believe that the children of Oge are the ancestors of Vietnam. Nowadays, people call themselves the descendant of dragon and fairy, whichever part of the country someone comes from. They belong to one origin. Just as the promise, thousands of years ago, that all Vietnamese people would love, honor, and protect each other. The legend of Oge and Lạc Long Quân has become the pride and bond of the Vietnamese people.
A creation of the Vietnamese people, taught to me before I started kindergarten. All the other children seemed to know it too, as if it were an unspoken requirement for admission. But I do not remember how I came to know it. Did my mother speak it to me in between lullabies in the dead of night? Or did my grandmother whisper the names of Oka and Lak Longkwan, which I could not yet pronounce as I drifted off to sleep in the cradle of her arms. Or perhaps, in my subconscious, did I just know? An origin whose origin I cannot trace, a myth of my creation, a national legend, that which claimed me before I was even aware of my own identity. But what if I claim it back? After an extravagant wedding ceremony, Oka and Lak Longkwan settle on a large piece of land where they cultivate and grow fresh produce. He fishes, she gathers herbs, the children exist. One day, he sets sail despite her warning that a storm is coming, and he steers just an inch too far and makes a turn too sharp and falls off the boat and drowns. Half of the children insist that they go look for him. She takes the rest to the mountains where her home is and raises them to be wise mountain kings. Or she asks him if she can return home to the mountains every 2 weeks, to which he says no, to which she replies that he goes into the sea every single day, that he always smells like sand and sewage and mermaids and it makes her nauseous, that he cannot touch her anymore because she will bleed from his hands now made of salt. He raises his voice. She cries. He leaves again. She takes all the children back with her. Only half of them survive. Or, all 100 eggs do not hatch. Heartbroken, the newlyweds part ways. Or, she can fight the monster by herself. He is not needed. They never meet. Happy ending. As with any story, in order to feel it, you must imagine yourself in it. And as with any identity, in order to claim it, you must break it apart and question it and reimagine it. So tonight, we will reimagine our origin as not simply a noun or a static narrative, but a muse through which we explore and express and emanate our individual brilliance, our collective passion, and our love. Welcome to Vietnam Night 2019.